Hello guys, welcome to another problem in this series of coding. Today we are going to do a recursion problem from HackerRank. It's called Davis staircase. Very interesting problem. So Davis has a number of staircases and he likes to climb 1, 2 or 3 staircases at a time. How many ways are there to reach the top of the staircase is what we want to find out. For example, for n equal to 5, there are these many ways. Like he can climb all the 5 steps, or he can climb first 3 steps and then he can directly jump 2 steps, or he can take this path or this path. Like that there are 13 possible ways he can take these 5 steps. Okay, let's try to understand this problem. So we'll start from the very basic. Suppose n is equal to 1, right? There is only one way. He will just take one step one time, that's it. Okay, let's see when n is equal to 2, how many ways are there. He can either take 1 comma 1. Okay, this is one way, or he can directly jump to the second step. So this is one way. So there are two ways. Okay, now let's take another example. For n equal to 3, how many ways will be there? For n equal to 3, see, he can either go step by step. So 1, then again 1, then again 1, right? Or he can take 2 steps, then 1 step. Okay, or he can take 1 step, then 2 steps, right? Or he can take 3 steps. So there are these many ways. So you can see that there are total 4 ways to reach the same top of the staircase. Okay, now let's try to think of a very general case. Okay, suppose so let's take some random n. Okay, we don't know how many steps are there. Okay, let's suppose there are a lot of steps on our staircase. We don't know, and the staircase is going on, going on, going on. We have to find for some random n. How can we find? Okay, let's try to think logically. How can we find? See, if he has to step on the top of this staircase, he is coming from somewhere. From where is he coming? Either he is coming from 1 step below, or 2 steps below, or 3 steps below. Can he come from 4 steps below? No, he can't, because he can't jump from 4 steps below. He can only jump from 1 step below, or 2 steps below, or 3 steps below, right? So to find the number of ways of reaching the n staircase, okay, let me write. Number of ways of reaching the n staircase is just equal to the sum of number of ways of reaching n minus 1 staircase plus number of ways of reaching n minus 2 staircase plus number of ways of reaching n minus 3 staircase. That's it. That is the simple logic for this problem. So let's try to take some examples to understand this better. So let's say you have n equal to 4. What will be your answer? You need not try to calculate everything. If you already know there is one way to reach first step, we already saw, right? For n equal to 1, there is one way. For n equal to 2, there are two ways. For n equal to 3, there were 4 ways. We already know these answers. So to calculate for n equal to 4, what we can do? We can just add all these ways, right? We can just add these 3 ways. 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7. So you get your answer 7. Okay. Similarly, for n equal to 5, what do? You need not, again keep on calculating. What you can do? You can simply, you already know that there are only 3 possible paths for him to reach the topmost staircase. So you add these 3 possible paths. Either he is coming from the second staircase, or from the third staircase, or from the fourth staircase. Then only he is able to reach the fifth staircase. So you just add these ways. Okay, why do we do this? See, suppose he is on the second staircase, he can take one jump directly, right? So all the ways you add. If he is on the third staircase, he can take 2 jumps directly and reach here. If he is on the fourth staircase, he can take one jump and reach this, right? So that's why we are just adding these 3 ways to reach the topmost staircase. 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 plus 7 is 13. So your answer is going to be 13 for the case n equal to 5, and so on. Now you can keep on building the solution. Now just one more thing before actually writing the code. So you may think that let's declare, let's say, a vector, and we will get the answer by just doing dp of I equal to dp of I minus 1 plus dp of I minus 2 plus dp of I minus 3, right? For I greater than equal to 3. You may think that this is the answer. Now can we optimize the space? Okay, let's try to think of way to optimize the space. Do we need to actually declare a very big vector? What do I mean by this? Okay, so let's think properly. For n equal to 1, the answer is 1. For n equal to 2, the answer is 2. For n equal to 3, the answer is 4. Okay. For n equal to 4, what is answer? 4 plus 2 plus 1. Okay. So the answer is 7. Okay. Now for n equal to 5, what is the answer? For n equal to 5, you just need to add these three values. 2 plus 4, 6, 6 plus 7, 13. So your answer is 13. Okay. Now for the next case, n equal to 6, what is your answer? You just need to add these three values. 4 plus 7 plus 13. 4 plus 7 is 11. 11 plus 13 is 24, right? So 24 will be your answer. So let me just write it here. Okay. Now let me just take one more case. For n equal to 7, what is your answer? You just need these three values. 7 plus 13, 20. 20 plus 24 is 44. So 44 is your answer. Okay. Now you can observe that each time what we are doing, we are just taking the previous three values. So can we somehow optimize the space? We need not use these values, right? If we could have deleted these values, we don't care. Once we have got these three values, we just need these three values to get the answer for n equal to 7, right? But we are simply taking extra space for these values. So how can we optimize? See, every time we just need previous three values. So we need not store a very big vector which is having of size n, right? So if we store a vector of size n for very large n, our space will, it will take a lot of space. So instead of storing a very large vector of size n, we will just store a vector or an array of size just 3, because you only need 3 values each time, right? So just indices 0, 1, 2 are enough. And how are we going to solve the problem? See, initially for n equal to you know 0, 1 and 2, we can simply store 1, 1 and 2. Okay. So for n equal to 2, the answer is 2. For n equal to 1, answer is 1. For n equal to 0, answer is 0. Now next time, for finding the answer for n equal to 3, we can just replace the value in this 3 sized array itself. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. So in place of this one, I am going to put 4. Okay. For finding the answer for n equal to 4, what am I going to do? I am going to use the three values. 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7, right? So in place of this, so what I'm doing, in place of this, I'm going to replace it with 7. Next, for n equal to 5, what we can do, again, in place of this, we can replace the answer. 4 plus 7 is 11, 11 plus 2 is 13, so I will replace it with 13. Next time, for finding the answer for n equal to 6, what I'll do, I'll replace it here. 4 plus 7 is 11, 11 plus 13 is 24. So again, there is some problem with the eraser. Okay. 4 plus 7 is 11, and let's check it again. Yeah, so in place of this particular value, 4 plus 7 is 11, 11 plus 13 is 24. We are going to put 24 here, and so on, right? So every time you can just take, I mod 3, and you can replace the corresponding value instead of having a very large array. So that's it, to optimize the space also, and otherwise the dynamic programming logic is fine. So let me just do that. I'm going to declare an array of just size 3, and now what am I going to do is, initially I'm going to give for 0 the answer is 1. For 1 we know the answer already, it is 1. For 2 the answer is 2. Okay. Now what do? We have to just iterate. So for int I equal to 3, I less than n, I plus plus. You can actually give less than equal to n. Okay. Now in this case, what we are going to do, we are going to iterate over. So normally we would have given I minus 1, I minus 2, and I minus 3. Okay. So this would have been our normal approach. But what we are going to do to optimize the space, let's just give mod 3. So everywhere we are going to give mod 3. So this will ensure that our array always remains of size 3, and it doesn't go out of bounds also for very large values. So this is fine. Now what we can do is, we can finally just return array of n mod 3. So that's it. I hope that this should work. Let me just check if it will work, and for checking I will run my code, ignore the previous submitted testing. Let's see if it's working. So it's fine. Let me just submit the code and see if it's going to work. It's taking longer than usual, but yeah, it's working. Thank you for being patient and listening.